everyone, I'm Lisa, and welcome to Audubon at Home. If you've ever visited us at our Bristol location, the Macintosh Refuge, our nature center and aquarium, you might have noticed that right outside where the building is, there's this big structure back here, this big building it almost looks like back here. It is called Bugingham Palace, and it is a place for insects. I just wanted to show you something really interesting because we're talking about insects this week. And there are many insects that are beneficial for people. You might not be thinking about this, but if you think about all the foods that we eat, many of those are pollinated by things like bees and butterflies and flies. So pollinators are super important to humans because they help us get all the foods that we love to eat. So a way that Audubon wants to think about helping pollinators is we want to make sure that we provide all the things they need. So when you think about animals, they need food, they need water, they need shelter, right? Everybody needs that. We need that too. So we were trying to think about that, and we decided to plant a pollinator garden, which has all sorts of plants that things like bees and flies and butterflies really like. So there's a pollinator garden, and right next to the pollinator garden, we wanted to make a home for them. So we call this Bugingham Palace over here. Now if you look behind me, you'll see that there's lots of little nooks and crannies and lots of little holes that insects could climb into to get some shelter, to protect themselves, and maybe even just to take a rest between going out and getting food. Not all pollinators live in big hives like a honeybee hive. Some of them are what we call solitary bees or solitary pollinators, and that means they're just on their own. So they just need a little hole to hang out in overnight to maybe have a little rest and protect themselves. So let's take a look at some of the materials we use to make our Bugingham Palace. As you can see, there are some things like logs, because logs are definitely something that you can find outside, but there's also things like hay. And there's things like these tubes. These are little pieces of bamboo that have been cut. We put some rocks. There are some seeds from plants, pine cones. There are some bricks that have holes drilled in them. There's newspaper. There's even some gourds that have holes in them. There's the bottom of a flower pot. There's a lot of neat stuff. Over here, there's even some bark, some egg cartons, some pieces of wood, some little cans. We used it all, and I hope you will too if you want to make your own mini Bugingham Palace at home. Thank you for joining us at Audubon at Home.